Hey, everybody. I'm Hillary Atkin from the Atkin Report, and I'm absolutely delighted to welcome Lana Scott from The Voice to this edition of Hillary's Happy Hour. Lana, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Hillary. Happy to be here with you. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome, Lana. Congratulations on making it into the top 10 on Team Blake.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm very happy to be here on Team Blake. Top 10, I'm still getting used to saying that. So couldn't be more grateful.
Well, you performed, I hope, as one of the top 11 and got a standing ovation. What was that performance like for you, your third live show performance?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I was so excited that the top fan pick was I Hope because I love Gabby Barrett and that song. And I've been in my car so many times just turning it up, singing along. And so I knew it was going to be a really fun song to perform, but also a challenge to make sure that I was breathing properly and could put that power into it. It's not an easy song, but I was up for the challenge. And so, actually performing on that stage, I noticed that during that performance, I felt like I reached this different level of flow on stage where I really got felt like I was in the song. I think most performers, that's always our goal when we're performing, that we're really in it. And I felt like I really was and really let go on stage. And as you can imagine, like the first live show, there's so much that we're all taking in. It's the first time on live television. It's our first time with in-ears. And so it feels like I'm getting the swing of it. And that felt really good. And then to receive what I did by the coaches after it was over was just a milestone in my life moment.
Well, that was such a fun show because another thing, talking about being in it, you and your entire team with Wendy and Paris performed with Blake that rousing rendition of I Can't Help Myself. All of you guys, the whole team's intact. You all made it into the top 10. But then something unexpected happened on the stage. What was that like?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna be completely honest. That was traumatic. That was traumatic for me because I mean, our team really we are as close, probably closer than than we look. We really are all good friends. And so Wendy's a dear friend of mine at this point and someone who she encourages me and I have moments that I get to encourage her and we're doing life together and sharing life. And so I'm on stage and then this very special friend of mine, I see her fall. And in the moment I watched it back the next day and it like made me cry again just seeing the video. But she's doing okay. We're all a family here, so we're all with her. And yeah, but man, that was a very unexpected event after what, like you said, was such a high. We all made it. We just had this great performance. And so it was very scary.
Well, it was such a relief to see Wendy come back with Carson after the break because
Yes.
it was live television. And like Carson said, nothing like that had ever happened before. But thank goodness she's going to be fine. So,
Oh yeah.
um,
I can tell you she is a strong woman. She didn't shed one tear backstage. She's very determined and strong-willed, so she's gonna be just fine. And it's nothing that's affecting her voice in any way or her future. So we're all really grateful for that.
well, I would like to rewind to your blind audition when you did Hole in the Bottle by Kelsey Ballerini, and Blake turned right away for you, and then Kelly, and they got into a ferocious battle that devolved into an argument to the point where Ariana and John literally left the stage for a minute, eating popcorn backstage. Then they came back and they both told you to pick Kelly. Of course, your dad wanted Blake, but
Mhm.
Lana, what was going through your mind in that moment as you were trying to make your decision?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That I went on to that stage, Hillary, not knowing what was going to happen, but this was my sixth time auditioning for The Voice. So for a decade now, off and on, all I wanted was just a shot to get to that stage, just to see what would happen. And so, you know, Blake was my number one like dream coach. Kelly was right there too, but every season I've always dreamt of working with Blake. So for him to turn around so soon, I was hoping that by the end of the song, maybe one person would turn. So it was, I very much like I saw it, but I don't think it really set in that he had turned as quickly as he did until the song ended. It's like that really happened. But for all that went down, I mean, being someone who watches and loves the show as someone at home, I love Kelly and Blake's banter, and I think it's hilarious. And they're both just such great artists and also great personalities. And so I remembered in that moment thinking, I'm so honored that they're creating such a great moment on TV over me. Like this is happening because of me. And so it was very out of body and surreal to see that. And then when John and Ariana got up, I mean, you guys could see my face, but I was like, I didn't know what to listen to or what to watch because there was so much going on. And honestly, it was really cool having the live audience there this season because they were seeing all of that with me. And I would look at the audience members and we were all like, do you see this? You know, we were in it together. So then when John and Ariana came back, again, honored that they still gave me their thoughts too, because they hadn't turned, but even they said really kind things. And like you said, they are all like, when you pick Kelly and leaning toward Kelly. And I was very, I mean, it was a hard decision, Hillary, because I really love Kelly Clarkson. I watched um, season one of American Idol, and she was my favorite from the beginning. And to see her whole career just take off in so many different ways, it would have been an honor to work with her. But I just felt like there was this passion from Blake, and I loved that he noticed the classic sound in my voice that not many people point out. Believe it or not, when I sing, that he saw that, but he seemed to be on board with how I'm pop country, but wanting to kind of honor just the things that makes my voice unique. And it just felt like home going with Blake. And it didn't hurt that, you know, my dad very much was on the same page. And my dad still calls me and he's like, I can't believe you did that for me as well on TV. That's so special. I'm like, well, of course, because my dad loves Blake too. But it was a wild experience. It surpassed my dreams in so many ways.
Well, speaking about classic, you performed Tim McGraw's Humble and Kind as one of your live performances. What special resonance does that song have for you, Lana?
It's that song is has my dad written all over it. I mean, I grew up very close with my mom and my dad, and my dad, these it's just the way I would describe him, those would be the two strongest words, humble and kind. And he just instills those values in me every day. No matter how old I get, he still gives me those reminders that I need and says things to me like, don't forget to look up and thank God when something good happens, and remembering where I come from. And but my dad also really affirms who I am a lot too, and I feel like he really sees the person that I am and loves me for who I am. And I could just go on and on about my dad. I love him so much, but it just felt like such a great opportunity to get to dedicate the song he dedicated to me back to him on live television. And Lori McKenna, who wrote Humble and Kind, I think she's an amazing songwriter. She wrote the song, and it was really cool. I actually shared it online and tagged Lori McKenna and Tim, and Lori shared it online and called it beautiful. And just the fact that she knows who I am and liked what I did with the song she wrote is only on The Voice, you know, when something like that happens. So it was a dream come true to get to sing that song. And I actually, when I was practicing it in the practice rooms, the days approaching, I got like pretty emotional, and I'd picture my dad's face that I had to pull it back a little bit because I didn't want to cry on stage and hinder my voice. So that was my challenge for that week, was feel the song, but you know, stay together and keep it together. So I was able to, which I'm glad about.
It was a wonderful performance. I just loved it. It was very special, but I do have to ask you what it's like to be the only country artist at this stage of the competition.
It's an honor. I mean, it's truly, I remember the blind auditions when there were about 100 of us, and there were several country artists here, and we all became friends, and as you can imagine, we had a lot of time together, and I admire them all, like I love Carson, for example, and anyway, to know that I'm the last one standing, I feel very motivated by that, and I'm already someone who tries to do my best at everything I do, but I'm doing it for them as well, and just for all the country music artists. I want to make country music look good this season and hold down the fort. And my favorite thing that I've heard actually in comments and messages is there's been quite a few people who have reached out and said, I'm not even really a country fan, but with you, something about you, I'm starting to like country. And I'm just like, I love that. That's such a cool thing to hear, because not everybody, it's not for everyone, that genre, and it's a very different type of genre than maybe R&B soul, and there's a lot of that this season. So I am a little bit different. Could even maybe say the black sheep in a way of what's left, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I love country music, and I'm so glad to be the last one standing.
Well, that's such an endorsement of your talent, Lana. And I know you have to get back to rehearsal, and that means we have to wrap up our happy hour. But before we do, I want to propose a toast to you. Here's to your continued success on The Voice.
Thank you, Hillary. Appreciate you. We're gonna
Cheers.
cheers. Thank you.